Has the turbo feature been fixed, and or is it even worth the $50,000, or it's like $47,000 that it is in the Los Santos Customs? What's going on, everybody? My name is Physiics, and welcome back to another GTA 5 video. And in today's video, we're going to test the turbo feature to see if one, if it's even fixed, and two, if it's worth the $47,000. Now, this question has been put up in the Rockstar forums because people were saying that it was not working and it was actually making cars slower. Now, on the screen here, according to Rockstar, it has been resolved, and it says resolve turbo causing vehicles to accelerate slower in GTA 5 and GTA Online for PS4 and Xbox One. Now, there's this big old thing here about it, and basically it's talking about the turbo feature, in fact, making the cars a lot slower than cars without it, including cars that are actually even stock. And I basically wanted to take this to the next level and even just check to see if turbo is even a factor in races, and if it isn't, then you shouldn't even spend the money, or if it is, you should spend the money. I know a lot of people are short on cash, so spending $47,000 on something better be worth it, I think. So what I went ahead and did was I got two of the new vehicles from the Festive DLC. I got the two exact vehicles, the Massacro Racecar editions, and I did something really cool to really make this race stand out. Now, what I have done was I have gotten both of the Massacro race cars, and I have made them both exactly the same. The only difference is one has turbo and the other one doesn't. The one that has the orange paint job is going to be the one that has the turbo, and then the other one you're going to see is the one that has pink and it does not have turbo. And now, what I have done to both of these vehicles is I have maximum upgraded all of their performance parts, as far as the transmission, the acceleration, everything that has to do with speed, and even the brakes. I have put that up to the 100% maximum upgrade, as you can see here on the screen. I'm showing you guys a little bit of fast forward because I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to sit down and watch this whole thing just go down. But basically, both of these vehicles are fully upgraded. I've even given each one the exact same spoiler, just because some people like to say the spoiler makes that much of a difference, even though it really helps out on the traction. And you guys will see once we go into the private match that I have done with the custom map, you can see that both of these vehicles have the exact same stats. Like I said, the orange one, which is the very first one you're going to see here, this one has turbo. The second one does not, which is the pink one. Now, the way I wanted to do this to make it very fair was I wanted to go on a straight line race, as straight as possible. Now, this is a custom track that I normally create, where I do my car versus car series, and I like this one because it's really straight as possible. There's a little bit of a slant towards the end, but it's very minimal, to the point where the top speed isn't affected whatsoever. I try to stay on the right side of the lane when I'm going right here, and I try to stay on the right as much as possible, even though I don't try to move too much to either side, because any sort of quick movement to one side or another might affect the speed, and I don't want that to happen. So I make nice, quick, subtle movements. I try to stay in the straight line as possible in order to reach top speed for the Massacro. If you're wondering why I'm using the Massacros instead of like the Adder or the Zentorno, basically it's because I have done races versus the Massacros and Adders, and the Massacros and the Zentornos, and the Massacros race cars are much faster. As you can see here, we finished the first trial with a 57-second lap, and I decided to do this one 2 times because I wanted to see how many, with doing the laps and stuff. If I got a similar time the second time, then it's pretty fair to say that that would be the accurate time to measure. So again, I do this one again, and as you can tell on both of the laps that I did, I got the go with the turbo boost. Now, that turbo boost in the beginning gives it a little bit of a speed adjustment. It increases a slight for like 2 or 3 seconds a little bit of a boost with the speed. I did that with both of these vehicles. That way it was 100% fair. That way the time on the bottom was 100% accurate, because if I have one car do it and then the other car doesn't, then obviously one car has an advantage. And also if I don't do it, well then the time on the bottom is irrelevant and the time is going to be incorrect because I have to wait for that boost to go away. So both have boost and both have the same performance parts, except one, which is the pink one, which is the second one, is not going to have turbo. As you can see here, once this race is over, both of these times that I had on the first one and the second one are really close together. The first race I believe was 57.7 and the second one was basically the same time. So now we go on to the second vehicle, which is again the same exact car, the same exact performance parts, the same exact spoiler, the same exact brakes, everything is exactly the same head start as well. As you can see, the only difference with this Massacro is that it does not have turbo. I was going to leave the engine on so you guys can hear the engine in the background. For those of you who are wondering, like maybe he stalled out on the engine, maybe he let go of the acceleration, I obviously did not do such a thing. I held on the acceleration the entire way through because I want to really see if turbo is worth the price or not. You know, the way I see it, if turbo costs $47,000, then it should give you a significant amount of an advantage over someone who doesn't have it. Now in this first race that I did with the pink one without the turbo, you will notice that once this race is over, the Massacro ended up getting a pretty good score time wise. It ended up picking up, I believe it was like 58 seconds, which is 1 second away from the first original race, from the one with the turbo. So here we have a Massacro without turbo, which is 58.7 seconds, which is basically 1 entire second slower than the Massacro with turbo. So now it kind of was like, okay, I was thinking to myself, is turbo even worth it? Now I did this one again, obviously, to be fair. I wanted to do this one a second time, and on this one, we ended up getting 2 seconds slower. We ended up getting a time of 59 seconds, and in which case it forced me to make a third lap, and in the third lap, I believe I got another 58 point something. So in conclusion, when we do this race and we go back and forth a couple times, we've noticed that there is about a 2 second differential, average about 2 second differential between a car, at least in this case the Massacro Racecar. Everything exactly the same, one with turbo, one without turbo. Everything is exactly the same, and there is a 2 second speed differential between both of the vehicles. Now, for me in the race, I don't think 2 seconds, at least $47,000 worth of a vehicle, is going to make that much of a difference. So in my opinion, as you can see here, once we finish this race, we are now at 59.1 seconds, which is about 2 seconds ish. It's like a second and 3/4. It really doesn't seem to be worth the money. In my opinion, I would say do not spend any money on the turbo. As you can see by the race here, it's very obvious that you're only getting about a 2 second, 1.5 second advantage, and you're spending $47,000 on turbo. Now this is done right after Rockstar had put out the resolved ticket claim on their support site, and they said that the turbo issue was fixed. Again, just to go over this one more time, both of these vehicles are exactly the same. The orange one, which was the first one, has everything equal to the pink one, which was the second vehicle. The only difference is the pink one has no turbo and the orange one has turbo. 2 seconds of a difference, $47,000. In my opinion, save your money. Do not use the turbo. Whether this is fixed, which I hope it isn't, because if it is fixed, people are just throwing their money away thinking that it actually makes a difference. Now, a lot of people are going to say that turbo doesn't do that for certain things, and it doesn't, whatever turbo is supposed to be meant to do in this race. As you can see here, 59.097 seconds, which is basically about a second and 3/4, 2 seconds away from a turbo vehicle. Turbo versus non-turbo, 2 seconds. In my opinion, $47,000. It's not worth your money. So for me, guys, I would say save your money. Do not spend it on turbo. Keep it for now until Rockstar says they really fix it. Or if this is fixed, don't spend your money on turbo at all. $47,500. Drop a like on this video, subscribe for more GTA 5 content, and save your cash. My name is Physiics. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.